Hey everybody, Justin with Everything Aquarium, back with a quick video here that I felt like I wanted to post or needed to post just to kind of help some people out. I've seen people asking recently about how I build my aquariums, so I'm going to give you a little tutorial on how I do that now using the app Moblo. Now this is just the way I do it. You guys don't have to do it this way, you guys don't have to do it this way, but this is the way I do it in the way that you guys have asked. So if you see my little short, I showed you this stand that I built here, this 60-gallon breeder. And this is the way I built it. Basically, I'll just go through real fast, and I'll build a 10-gallon stand. Everybody knows about 10 gallons, so we'll go on. We'll give this guy a quick title: 10-gallon stand. Then you select your units. Obviously, we're going to use inches, and we know that our 10-gallon stand is it's 20 3/4 by 20 1/4 by 10 1/2 is what your 10-gallon is. Your 10-gallon standard, at least by Aquarium, is 20 1/4 by 10 1/2. Height doesn't really matter for this since we're doing just a single tier. We're not necessarily adding anything over top of this, so we don't really need to worry about the height too much. So yeah, this app Moblo, it's pretty sweet. I've been using it for a while now. It's free, but to get the premium, and that's pretty much what you're gonna want to do in order to add more shapes and stuff, is to get the premium. I think it was $6. It's lifetime. You don't have to pay monthly, which is awesome. So yeah, real quick, we'll go through it. The way I do it is like this: you go and add shape, add cube. Obviously, we're gonna turn this into a rectangle. So the first thing we're gonna want to do here is change this to a 2x4. So start here with our height of our 2x4, which will be a vertical 2x4, flipped on its side vertically, I should say, which is 3 1/2. If you don't know this, a true 2x4 is 3 1/2 inches by 1 1/2 inches. So there's our 2x4 shape there, and then our length, our front piece for our display will be 20 1/4. So we'll go 20.25 for a quarter, and that's our front board there. So we can take that and move it down and then put it on the ground, which is going to make it flat there. And now we'll do another board by just simply, actually, you know what I like to do also is name these. So I will go to rename, and I go to that and put 20.25 because it's 20 1/4. And that names it 20 1/4, so when we go into our parts list later, it's 20 1/4. It shows you the length, but it's better than just saying cube 1, cube 2, which it will say if you don't change that. And that's just something I like to do. You don't have to do that, but it's what I like to do. Let me get back into this. So yeah, and that's kind of the basic idea of that. You just keep building these things in the order you want to build them, and I'll just do that with you real fast just to show you how it works. It's not going to be real fast, but stick with me if you want. We'll bring that out there, and now what we'll do is we'll duplicate it by clicking on it. Those 3 lines are duplicate. We'll place it on ground, and there's our front and back. Now what we'll do is we're going to duplicate this again to build our side pieces. But what we're going to do is we're going to take it, move it out, we're going to put it on the ground. First thing we're going to do is change the name so we don't get confused. We need this to be 10 1/2 total, so just with some quick math here, we have to account for the 2x4s that are already going to be there. So by doing that, we'll go 1 1/2 for the left side 2x4 there, and then 1 1/2 for the right side, so that's 3 inches total we need to take off of our 10 1/2 inch length we need total. So we'll do 10.5 minus 3 inches, and that'll give us 7.5. And now this board, 7.5 inches long, will give us a total of 12 1/2, or excuse me, 10 1/2 total. So we'll name this 7.5. And we'll change it to 7.5 inches by doing that. And we will then rotate it. Sorry, I'm having a little brain fart here. 90 degrees. We can take this and we can pull it on down over here. And what we'll do is I have this set to magnet snap, so it snaps into place like that, face on face, and then we'll move it over and it'll snap to the end on end. Now we can do the same thing with this guy here. Use that button to recenter, bring it over, and now we will simply duplicate this, put it on the ground, bring it down. Didn't really need to go all the way around like that, but and there's our basic frame. And now to even verify this, what we can do is we can go here to our 3 lines and we can turn on our show measurements, and that'll show us that we have that 10.5 right down there at the end of the line and a total length of 20.25 for a 20 1/4. So now this will exactly fit our rim of the tank on the outside. Now for a 10-gallon tank, this is, you know, pretty generic. We don't really need to go too crazy with it. But what I would do next, say we want it to be 3 feet tall off the ground, we'll go and do this. I will just simply take this cube here, or 2x4 as we're going to call it, and we're going to duplicate it, and then I'm going to rotate it up vertically 90 degrees, and then we will move it, place it on the ground. And now since we want it to be 36 inches off the ground, we're going to adjust our height of the board, bring it to 36 inches, change the name to 36, and now we will then move it by using these arrows here, come over there, and then we can simply just do this, click on it, duplicate, bring it over, bring it down. And then the other thing I like to do when building bigger tanks, when moving parts, a lot of times, you know, I might have to do 3 or 4 of these boards, depending if it's a 4-foot tank that I'm designing to stand for, or something even bigger. We can select here these 2 cubes, and then we can then select 2 things at a time and duplicate those 2 at a time rather than doing each one individually. And then bring that down to the ground until it snaps in, and bring it forward to lock on there. And now that is our basic frame. What I will then do is, or our basic legs. Now if you make a mistake like I just did, you just hit this back button and it brings you back. So what we're going to do is select 4 parts right now, this bottom frame here. This can be challenging sometimes, so you just got to work around the blue buttons. We got 3, 4. Now I'll duplicate this, and I'll slide this all the way up until it snaps in. And there we have our basic 10-gallon frame. And now, 10-gallon stand, excuse me, not frame. That's the basics of it. That will, this will probably be sufficient enough to hold a 10-gallon, but I always like to add bracing. And so when I'm designing my tanks, I design it around braces, right? So what that means is I'm going to take this length here. Now something that is small like a 10-gallon won't need much, and it probably won't need any at all. So you can build the stand a different way. This is just, like I said, the basic idea of it. I just decided to do a 10-gallon because it's fairly quick to do. But there's other ways to do it, such as, you know, building the frame separately from the legs and then adding in a bottom piece to hold the weight, if that makes sense. It's hard to explain without showing it. But I will show you the way I would do it. And that's not necessarily, again, with this 10-gallon, but with a bigger tank, heavier tank. I would go over, find out my 36-inch length, obviously, subtract 3.5 from the top 2x4, 3.5 from the bottom. That gives us 7 inches total, so that brings us down to 29 inches. That's going to be my brace size. So I'll then take this, duplicate it, bring it out, change our length to 29 inches, change our name to 29 inches, and then I will bring that back in, if I can get it to move here, until it snaps, bring it down. Now it's level, now it just goes right in. And that there is what you would call a brace. And simply to make more, duplicate it, bring it over, bring it down, and it's in there. The other thing I like to do when it comes to this stuff is I like to, especially when it comes to bracing, just so that way everything doesn't blend in, I like to change the color of it. like to usually go, like teak or something. That way it's not too far off color, but I can visually see that it's there, and it makes it seem more real that way, I guess, because you can't see lines with them stacked at the same color. And then what I'll do is, obviously, I'll go over here, duplicate it. You get the idea. Move it down, and there we go. Now this will absolutely hold a 10-gallon tank. 10-gallon full of water usually only weighs about 110 pounds, 111 pounds. Usually about 10 gallons. There are 10 pounds per gallon of water. And this gives us our basic build right here. Now, again, the way 2x4s are set up, they work well with the edges here when it comes to the 2x4 bracing is what I want to say. We could easily add in another one of these right here by duplicating it. Again, I like to overbuild everything, so this isn't necessary, and I wouldn't even do this myself on this just because it would be a waste of money. But you can take that, rotate it, bring it out, down a little bit, and just line it up to your stand there. And you can add the bracing in on this side as well for complete and total overbuilt. And makes the corners actually look a lot smoother too, but again, not necessary for a 10-gallon tank, but just to show you there as an example. And we can go ahead and delete that, and yeah, that's pretty much our finished tank. We'll give you another look at my 60 breeder just to show you the examples I was talking about earlier when it comes to having more than one leg. Right here we can see that I have two different colors, as we do have an outside brace and inside bracing, or front facing and then side facing, however you want to call it. We also have internal frame bracing there just to make that a little bit more rigid, less probability for wobbling, anything like that. We don't want any shifting. And yeah, there's even more we could do to this. This is absolutely overbuilt too. This will hold a car the way it sits. And you can fact check that. I don't know exact numbers, but I'm sure that 2x4s vertically stacked like this can hold a lot. I know that's true. So if you want to fact check that, go ahead and maybe leave a comment down below. But yeah, I know this is kind of a weird video and it's late at night, but I felt like I wanted to get this out there and show you guys how I do this. And hopefully this can help some people. And I'll try to leave a link for this app down in the comment section or in the description, whatever. Check it out. Let me know what you guys think. Real fast, my other favorite feature of this is we can go into here, back to our 10-gallon. I use this quite a bit, and you can use this in the app as well. Take the object, AR vision, place it in the world, and then we can scale it down just because I like to set it on the table. And we can go through, we can move it around, and we can visually look at everything, check out everything. And if I wanted to, I could place this in the area that I want to put it and visualize what it looks like in that area by just simply going back to one-time scale. And you can scale it all the way up to 100. So go crazy with it, guys. I hope hope this works out for you and can help you design some stands. And you can play around with a lot of stuff. You can even do things such as, add a tank on there if you wanted to visualize that, which I guess I could show you real fast if you want to really see how that works. You go in here and you'd go to your dimensions. We know that the Aquarium 10-gallon is 20.25 inches long, so we'll go 20.25. The height of it is actually 12 and 9/16, so that is 12.5659, I think is what it is. And then it is 10.25, or 10.5, excuse me, long. And you can see right on there that it fits nicely on our stand, edge to edge. We can even go as far as changing this to our own material, which I do like to do when I build tank stands. I do like to go in and change the color of it, like this custom color. We'll go and make it this nice blue, and we can change the shininess, bring that up. We can bring up the reflective, and then we can even bring down that a little bit. It gives us like a watercolor almost. And you can visualize the tank on the stand itself. I should bring this up to sit on it. And there you go. You can see your 10-gallon tank on your stand right there. And yeah, you can go crazy with this. You can build a frame around the tank if you wanted to. You know, that would take some time to get that exactly right, but it can be done in a pretty quick amount of time. And yeah, guys, just wanted to show you this. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.